I look back at a lot of my older videos since starting this program, and I see I made a lot of errors. It's clear to me now that this idea, this libertarian idea of freedom always being the best thing, is not necessarily the best way of going about it. It's very clear to me now that some people simply can't handle it. Freedom, that is. And they really need someone or something like the state to step in and tell them how to live their lives so that they can protect themselves. It's a protection. It's looking out for their best interest. I also realized that logic is really an artifact of language, and it's really a result of our limited capacity to understand concepts, and that any absolute that might come about as a form of language really has this, it doesn't really necessarily have any informative quality of the world. And so to jump up and down about logic and reason and absolutes is kind of strange. It's just, it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. And finally, and probably most significantly, the notion of God, I've come to conclude, is not one worth believing in. Got ya! So I had this dream last night that I was watching a trial, and a Muslim woman was at the stand, and they had her put her hand on the Bible, and they didn't have a Quran. They didn't really mean to force her into it. These days we don't, there's no hand on the Bible thing, but she said, no, it's okay, I want you to open to a particular passage though, and I want to put my hand on that. And the bailiff said, fine, what passage? And she said something like chapter 16 verse 7, which unfortunately is not the way the Bible exactly is laid out. But anyway, it was a passage that doesn't actually exist in the Bible, but it was one referring to the Muslim people. And it was a dialogue happening in that scene in the Bible, this, made up scene in the Bible, where the guy was referring to the people of the religion that ripples them in reason. Sort of odd. And goes on about how the people who will shear their sheep only at the most efficient time, the time when it would be the most cost-effective and the most humane to the animals. And the people who leave their stew cooking for just a little while longer. So, as weird as all that must sound, the picture that was being painted for me anyway, as I was observing the dream, was like, oh, the Muslim people, yes, the people as the Bible referred to, that are these people in pursuit of knowledge, and they did say that as in the Bible verse anyway. That they want wisdom and knowledge and so on, and people who are practical and reasonable and so on and so on and so forth. And the scene in the dream concluded with me saying, like, I should hit up Ali to see if he could hook me up with a Muslim country, and I'd be Muslim for a year. And actually, after that dream, it was another dream about me being an acrobat, which is kind of a thing like the blind kid always wanting to be a pilot would be like me wanting to do some kind of Cirque du Soleil style performance. But it really, I woke up, I had my last final today, and so now I'm officially done with school for the semester. And it was interesting that, yes, on that final night, I dreamt of basically going out into the world and doing something crazy and adventuresome. I moved back from Japan, God, it's almost in March, late March, I got back, and I really feel like I have taken a step backwards. If you've ever been to Casper, Wyoming, it's just not that much going on here. And it's 2.5 miles away, or 2.5 hours away rather, from where I grew up. So it just does not feel very adventuresome. I'm enjoying my pre-law classes, or what are essentially pre-law classes. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to continue on to law school now. Every attorney that I've talked to has this kind of very pessimistic oratory that they seem to have rehearsed just for people like me that are saying, I want to go to law school too. What do you think? Is that a good idea? And there's no, don't do it. For a number of reasons. I'll talk about it in a different video if you're interested. I have an idea. I have lots to talk about. Well, I haven't talked in a while, but as a New Year's resolution here, I know it's kind of early. Is it even the 15th yet? I don't know. Who cares? Oh, it's the 16th. Okay, close enough. I want first to finish up this paralegal program, which will take me another year because that's the practical thing to do. But then after that, and while I'm doing that, to save up money and perhaps get some help from you guys to do something a little interesting next year for about 6 months in lieu of this dream I had. What I want to have happen, what I would like to have happen, but I should preface with saying I don't think will actually happen because I don't have enough subscribers. But what I would really like to have happen is for the many of you to give me ideas about where to spend, say, 6 months of my life. Anywhere in the world. It could be to go to an Islamic nation, to be Muslim, so to speak, for 6 months. Or to go to, say, Indonesia and be Buddhist for 6 months. Or go to, China and practice martial arts for 6 months and really just dedicate myself to it. Just not make any money, go up to some person and say, look, I will work for food and bed and your tutelage, that kind of thing. I'd love to do that. The reality is probably far removed, though, from actually that ever happening. But I would like to get started with this new lot in life. Not really. No, this new direction of the channel I was talking about is a little bit more about living rather than thinking. That's really where I'm at right now. At this very finite point in time, I am taking life much less seriously than what I have before. And basically it's in a sense of reassurance that I get when I reflect on the fact that I am going to die. I find this interesting intellectually because the fear of death is the one thing I think that is the most important to any spiritual sense of urgency, that you have to go out and hurry up and be a good person and do something. Either you'll never be enlightened or you'll go to hell or whatever the case may be. In my case, it's a sense of ashes to ashes. Like, I came into this world, it was really none of my own doing, best I can tell, and I'll leave when something determines that it is time. And that might be a very naturalistic approach to it, that it's just, the bricks just fell into place or the dominoes just fell at the right time and my heart stops, or something more transcendental. It doesn't really matter. The fact is, it's not mine to determine, que sera, sera, what will be, kind of a thing. And in light of that new attitude, I'm not so sure I want to be in school right now. I want to be out climbing Mount Everest. I want to be out, learning how to juggle from a one-legged chimpanzee. I want to, I want to learn how to make stone soup. If you've ever read that children's story, fantastic story. You have to watch. I might even give you a link. Something like that just is like, kind of reminds me, I was inspired actually a little bit by this video I saw that was based on a best-selling book called Eat, Pray, Love. Eat, Pray, Love. And it's apparently a true story about a woman who went to Italy to learn how to eat, how to enjoy her bodily cravings. And then she went to India to study under a guru, and then she ended up in Indonesia where she fell in love with the love of her life and, you know, happily ever after kind of a stuff. And I think that's banging around in my head a little bit too. So what I would be interested in hearing from all of you are some ideas as to where you would like to see me go. If there's enough interest in this, and if I think I'm going to be able to make enough money, and if I can open up a donation page on this channel and people start throwing $2 or $3 at me in plentiful supply, I might just go and do what you vote me to go and do. This is all kind of in the drawing board stage right now. But, and if I don't get any help from any of you bastards, I'll do it on my own. But basically, at this point, I think it would be great to hear some ideas, because I don't know of all that is out there and all the opportunities. You know, at one point when I was in Japan, I wanted to go work in Africa as a baby lion caretaker. Like, baby tiger. Ooh, baby tiger. Sorry. Baby tiger. And it just seemed really cool. I mean, you don't make any money. It's all volunteer, but it's like, oh, baby tigers, it's just, you know. That's where I'm at. I need to do it. I'm in frickin', it's freezing too. And it's like, it snowed. And it looks stupid outside, and it's like everything that I know that I need to get away from. I need to go out. I need to go. I need to go. And I want you to send me someplace. So let's talk about it. It'd be fantastic. In the meantime, I'm going to do some house cleaning. No, like on YouTube. Like, pick on some theists and some transcendental mind kinds of people who are being dipshits. And I would like to smack them around a little bit. There you have it. Actually, just because this video is now rambling, I'm real concerned about this big shift of mind here. Here we go. I'm real concerned about math fails. No one's actually said anything, and I think that's bullshit and chicken shit and any other kind of animal feces that might be appropriate, because I think this kid is screwing up his life to a ridiculous degree, and he's doing it in the sense, or in the name of spirituality, in the name of, I guess, shamanism is his deal. He thinks he's channeling a number of different spirit guides, and if you haven't, check out his most recent videos. They're all very dreamlike. They're all very, it's essentially he's daydreaming and sharing with us his daydream, and he thinks that's a spiritual activity. And it's really unfortunate, because he doesn't think a normal job is sexy enough for him, so he asks people for donations for food. You know, he doesn't do this publicly. And the reason I'm saying that he's asked me personally through fucking Facebook, for a PayPal donation of $5 so he could go buy Subway, is to embarrass the shit out of him, because this is stupid. This is stupid. This happened a few months ago. I didn't say anything because I was just sort of bowled over by the idea that, like, what? I mean, kids like that need to get out in the world and see that that happiness is not what you do, it's how you do it. I mean, if you really want to starve, fuck, that's easy. That's easy. But people who are starving probably aren't going to pass up that waiter job that you might have gotten the other day. You know, just because, well, it's not spiritual enough. It really is a bullshit thing, and I really think the kid's screwing himself over, and I'd like to help him. So I hope you smack him upside the head next time you see him as well. And we'll do this kind of tough love kind of thing, because I don't know what else to do to the kid. So that's where it's going to start. And I'm not exactly sure how to go about it. So if you would help me in that endeavor, send him your love in the form of a backhand. Really. And it really needs to be a loving backhand. I hope you see what I'm getting at here. Don't just beat the shit out of the kid. But really, do this in the name of, like, what are you doing? I love you. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Well, I'll probably see you guys again, because I still have lots to talk about, but I'm not going to bore you anymore. And there'll be a few videos being shot out through the break. I kind of do this as my yearly thing that I post on YouTube during the holidays, because I have time off. And that'll happen. That'll happen. More. Here we go. If you have any ideas for the new direction of the channel, and if you have any ideas of where I should be next year, anywhere in the world doing anything, kind of like, ooh, look, he's growing and maturing and learning about himself. That kind of like soft, fluffy Hallmark greeting card kind of bullshit. Give me your ideas in the comments. Love you guys. Ciao.